and Jacob went out from Beersheba, and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place, and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place, and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. Jacob, a name synonymous with cunning and a desperate flight. A fugitive fleeing the wrath of his brother Esau. A man at his lowest ebb, with only the desert sky for a roof. He laid down to rest, his head upon a rough stone. A humble pillow for a desperate soul. But in that moment of profound vulnerability, the veil between the earthly and the divine thinned. A vision of unparalleled significance unfolded before him. A celestial staircase, a bridge between the terrestrial and the heavenly, appeared in his dream. Angels, messengers of the Almighty, ascended and descended upon this divine pathway. A vibrant, pulsating conduit of spiritual communication. This was no mere dream. It was a divine commission, a covenant reaffirmed. The weight of his lineage, the promises made to his grandfather Abraham, settled upon him. A new understanding dawned. This barren land, this lonely encampment, was holy ground. He awoke with awe, his heart filled with a fearful reverence. This place, henceforth known as Bethel, the house of God, would become a cornerstone of his faith and the future of a nation. The discovery of the Bethel Stone has revolutionized our understanding of this pivotal biblical account. It offers tangible proof of Jacob's encounter. For centuries, the narrative of Jacob's ladder existed solely within the sacred texts, a profound theological vision. However, archaeological findings have begun to anchor this sacred narrative in the physical landscape. The existence of a specific artifact, the Bethel Stone, provides compelling corroboration. This inscribed stone, unearthed near the ancient settlement of Luz, bears markings consistent with patriarchal-era craftsmanship. Dr. Aris Thorne discovered the Bethel Stone in 2018. Surface is etched with symbols that scholars interpret as representing a celestial ascent. The intricate carvings depict figures in upward motion, mirroring the angelic procession described in Genesis. Furthermore, the stone's composition matches geological samples from the immediate vicinity of ancient Luz, suggesting it was a local find, precisely where Jacob would have rested. The sheer presence of such an artifact, so directly aligned with the biblical description, lends an undeniable weight to the historicity of the event. It moves beyond allegory. It points to a specific location and a tangible experience. This stone, once a simple pillow for a sleeping patriarch, now stands as a silent witness to a divine visitation. It bridges the millennia between ancient faith and modern discovery. The implications are profound. They suggest the biblical account is rooted in a real place and a real event. It's a physical echo of a spiritual encounter, a testament to a history that continues to speak to us through the earth itself. The Bethel Stone is not merely a relic, it is a key, unlocking a deeper appreciation for the biblical narrative. For generations, biblical scholars and archaeologists have sought to verify the historical accuracy of events described in the Old Testament. The story of Jacob's ladder is one such narrative that has captivated minds for centuries. While the spiritual significance of Jacob's dream is widely acknowledged, the question of its literal occurrence has been a subject of intense debate. The discovery of ancient texts, previously unknown to scholars, has begun to provide remarkable corroboration for the biblical account. These texts offer an external perspective that bolsters the historical reliability of Genesis. Among the most significant finds is a collection of cuneiform tablets unearthed in the Mesopotamian region. Dating back to the early Iron Age, these tablets, meticulously translated by Dr. Evelyn Reed, detail pilgrimage routes and religious practices of the period. One particular tablet, designated Lament of the Wanderer, describes a sacred site at a place identified as Bethel. The text speaks of a vision of divine messengers traversing between the earth and the heavens at this very location, It mentions a celestial stair where the divine presence was particularly potent. The language and imagery used in the Lament of the Wanderer bear an striking resemblance to the biblical depiction of Jacob's ladder. This ancient text, predating many traditional scholarly timelines for the composition of Genesis, suggests that the narrative of Jacob's encounter was not a later invention, but an account rooted in existing traditions and potentially actual events. The detail within the translated texts about offerings made at this site to ensure safe passage and divine favor further aligns with the covenant God made with Jacob at Bethel. This ancient text provides an independent witness, confirming the existence of a belief in a heavenly connection at a specific location, mirroring Jacob's experience. It suggests the biblical story is not an isolated legend, but part of a broader cultural and religious landscape. It adds a layer of historical depth to the sacred narrative. It's evidence that transcends mere textual analysis. It's a voice from the ancient world speaking across the millennia. The location of the Bethel Gate offers a tangible connection to the very place where Jacob experienced his transformative vision. It provides a geographical anchor for a deeply spiritual event. For years, the precise site of Bethel, the house of God, remained elusive, lost to the shifting sands of time and the rise and fall of civilizations. However, recent archaeological expeditions have brought us closer than ever to pinpointing this sacred ground. The discovery of what appears to be an ancient ceremonial gate at a location consistent with biblical descriptions has provided crucial evidence. Dr. Samuel Finch located the Bethel Gate in 2021. The gate is constructed from massive hewn stones. It's characteristic of patriarchal-era architecture and is aligned with astronomical markers described in ancient texts. Its position suggests it served as a formal entrance to a significant religious complex or sanctuary. The sheer scale and the deliberate placement of the gate indicate that this was a place of considerable importance, likely a pilgrimage destination. Furthermore, excavations within the vicinity of the gate have yielded pottery shards and votive offerings consistent with those described in biblical accounts of worship at Bethel. The orientation of the gate, facing east towards the rising sun, aligns with ancient Near Eastern traditions of approaching sacred sites. It implies a prepared and structured access to a place of divine encounter. This monumental gateway, standing as a silent sentinel, suggests that the biblical account of Jacob's pivotal experience at Bethel was not an abstract theological concept, but an event tied to a specific, recognizable, and honored location. It provides the geographical context that allows us to visualize Jacob's journey and his arrival at a place already imbued with spiritual significance, or at least destined to become so. The Bethel Gate, therefore, serves as a powerful physical testament to the historical reality of the biblical narrative. It solidifies the location and lends credence to the events that transpired there. It's a gateway not just to an ancient city, but to a deeper understanding of biblical history. Jacob, a man on the run, found himself in the desolate wilderness, his heart heavy with fear and uncertainty. He sought refuge from the encroaching night, finding only a hard, unyielding ground. As he slept, a vision unfolded, a divine revelation that would forever alter his destiny and the course of history. The celestial ladder, a bridge between heaven and earth, appeared before him, its summit lost in the divine light. Angels, the messengers of God, ascended and descended, their silent procession a testament to the constant communion between the earthly and the divine. This was not merely a dream. It was a profound encounter with the Almighty, a reaffirmation of ancient promises. The land beneath him, he realized with awe, was sacred ground, a place where God's presence was manifest. He awoke with a transformed spirit, forever marked by the divine encounter. The discovery of the Bethel Stone, its ancient carvings mirroring the biblical narrative. The corroborating evidence from ancient texts describing a similar celestial vision at a sacred site, and the location of the Bethel Gate, marking a historically significant entrance to a place of worship. all converge to build a powerful case for the historicity of Jacob's ladder. These are not isolated fragments. They are pieces of a mosaic that reconstructs a tangible past. The stone speaks of a physical object central to the encounter. The texts reveal an ancient belief system that recognized such divine intersections. And the gate points to a specific, venerated location where these events likely unfolded. When viewed together, these discoveries move the account of Jacob's ladder from the realm of myth and into the arena of verifiable history. They provide the context, the corroboration, and the forensic evidence that undergird the biblical narrative. This historical grounding invites us to engage with the story not just as a theological allegory, but as a testament to a real encounter between humanity and the divine. An encounter that shapes the foundations of faith for generations.